2023. How is it over already? I struggle so much with the concept of time and the faculty of memory that I thought making a video of my 23 favorites of 2023 would be a great way to reflect on my year as well as remember it all down the line and of course share it all with you. For those of you who are new here, by the way, I'm Umi. I'm a Twitch streamer as well as a gaming lifestyle content creator here on YouTube. And first up for my favorites of 2023, we have my indulgences. Now these things are by no means necessary in my life, but I do get a lot of value out of them despite their expense simply because I use them so much and they're good at what they do. I decided to group all my skincare in one category because I felt like that wasn't fair taking up like 6,000 slots for it. But first up we have the CosRX Clear Pad. This is a new product to me because I tried out toner pads for the first time this year and I found this one, which is technically a cleansing pad, I think, but it is so good. I don't know what ingredients are in it, to be honest, but it clears up breakouts really well. And it's also really nice for nights when I don't feel like showering or like washing my face with like water and everything. It's just a great way to refresh and it sets a good base for the other products that I want to put on my skin. Now when I do actually want to wash my face, I use this Cetaphil Dermacontrol Oil Removing Foam Wash, I believe it's called. I have pretty oily skin and it can build up a lot, but this is really good at breaking down that buildup as well as overall reducing the excess oils that I feel being produced on my face, or at least it seems that way to me. After using one of those two products, I like to go in with the Numbuzin No. 3 Super Glowing Essence Toner. I love a good toner. I think it adds another layer of hydration to the skincare routine, but this one also has the added benefit of just making you dewy and glowy and plump, and I love it so much. And then finally, for like this skincare indulgence category, we have the CosRX Snail Mucin. Everybody loves this thing. I love it too. I don't know the science behind this product, but all I know is that it makes my skin look great and feel great, and it's the GOAT. Besides skincare, one of my favorite indulgences of this year was my Zoom 65 keyboard. I built this myself back in January of this year, and I've been using it throughout this year, and it's still holding up beautifully. This build is the Zoom 65 in white with Akko Cinnamoroll keycaps as well as lubed marshmallow switches, and it is by far one of my favorite keyboards I've built. And of course, I use this every day. I'm at my PC practically all the time, so this has been a great investment and I love it so much. Another thing that I use really often in terms of tech is my Elgato Wave 3. This is a USB mic that you can just plug right into your PC, but it also has a digital mixing interface called Wavelink, and it is one of my favorite things ever. Not only does it allow me to individually control the volume of different apps that I have open, but it also allows me to control the volume of what my Twitch stream hears through OBS. This allows me to like blast music in my own ears, but keep it at a reasonable volume on my stream. And my final favorite indulgence of the year is my Kobo Libra 2. This is an e-reader made by Rakuten Kobo, I believe is how you pronounce it, and it is fantastic. One of my resolutions for this year was to get back into reading and read more, and that I have done. I didn't want to get a Kindle because you have to pay extra to not have ads on your Kindle, and I thought that was dumb. And on this you have access to things like library ebooks on here, ebooks I've purchased, as well as upload my own ebook files or PDF files if I want to read those on here. I just think it's a very versatile e-reader and it's the perfect size for me. And it was on this Kobo Libra 2 that I read some of my favorite books of 2023. Now keep in mind these aren't books that came out this year, but were a part of a 23 books for 2023 reading challenge that I did that I may or may not have yet to complete. I have like 3 books left. I'm practically there. I'll do it. But my first favorite book of the year was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This is a super meta murder mystery as it follows the tale of Ernest Cunningham, an author who writes about writing murder mysteries. His family name is infamous, and despite his attempts to distance himself from it, the past catches up to him at a family reunion at a wintry mountain resort. With a huge cast of characters and a ton of secrets to spill, this is a thrilling tale that I would recommend to anyone who enjoys a solid whodunit. I rated this one 4.5 stars rounded up to 5 on my Goodreads. Another book I really liked was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, written by Heather Fawcett. This was a book with a lot of magical academia and fairy mischief, as well as a blossoming romance. I rated this one 4.5, very tentatively rounded up to 5, just because there was this sort of last-minute sequence that felt very ill-paced and not exactly the ending that I wanted, but I still really enjoyed the book overall. My final favorite book of the year was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. If you've been on TikTok or Book Talk, you probably know this title. A lot of people seem to recommend it as baby's first Brandon Sanderson novel just because it's a standalone instead of in a series, and I can attest that it works really well as a standalone because I know nothing about Brandon Sanderson's other series, but I really enjoyed this one. Sanderson is really great at world world building, and I really loved the magic system that was in Tress. And Tress as a character herself was really interesting to me, and I loved seeing her change over the course of her journey across the Spore Seas. This book does feel a little more YA fantasy than adult fantasy at times, even though Sanderson advertises it as an adult fairy tale, but I still enjoyed it a lot. I rated this one 4.5 stars. And I lied, I do have one last thing in this category, and it's a shout out to, this is not sponsored by the way, Libby. Libby is a fantastic resource for those of you who want to read more but don't necessarily have the funds to put towards buying books, or maybe even you just want to support your local library systems. Libby allows you to take your library card and check out ebooks and audiobooks as long as you are willing to wait a little bit. It is the way that I have been reading most this year, and it is the reason why I could read almost 23 books in a year without spending a dime. So if you're looking to reignite your passion for reading this upcoming year, you could try Libby. You don't even need an e-reader to connect to, you just need your phone. So definitely recommend. Shout out Libby, you're my fave. Now, it's kind of hard to say what my favorite songs of 2023 were just because I don't specifically go out looking for new releases. I kind of just discover things in my Discover Weekly and add them to my playlist as is, but there were a few standouts that I would like to talk about. First up, we have Feather by Sabrina Carpenter. This is a song that I could not get out of my head once it got into it. It's just the perfect, lighthearted, and fun girly pop song of 2023. And Sabrina Carpenter is such a fantastic performer. I can never not watch her performances of Feather when I see them on my For You page on TikTok, and so this one has just been an earworm for me and I really enjoy it. In a completely opposite direction, we have We'll Never Have Sex by Leith Ross. This is a not lighthearted, not fun, not necessarily girly pop song, but it is melancholic and bittersweet, and I just really like it a lot. It lives in sort of my sad romance song playlist, so if you like that vibe, maybe check this one out. This song, I believe, got really popular on TikTok initially, and as bad as the app can be at times, it's really great for discovering new artists who never necessarily would have had a chance otherwise. So thumbs up TikTok, thanks for showing me Leith Ross. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, sorry if not. In another genre, we have No Time to Explain by Good Kid. I don't actually know what you would call this kind of music, but it takes me personally back to the sort of songs I'd listen to in my middle school pop punk, not really a phase. I really like this one. I don't really have much to say about it, but it's a good one. And for my last favorite song of 2023, we gotta go back to K-pop. I'm a K-pop girly at heart, and Perfect Night by LE SSERAFIM is one of my favorite releases from this year. Maybe it's a bit of recency bias, but it is just such a fun song, especially considering it has a majority English lyrics. I think sometimes when K-pop groups do English songs, they change their style of music a bit too much. Like their group identity isn't as clear in an English release as it is in a Korean release, but I think LE SSERAFIM executed it perfectly. I think the songs fit the girls so well, and it has such a cute dance, and it was a collab with Blizzard, or specifically Overwatch 2, which was really cool, and the skins from that event are so cute. I maybe bought the bundle. No, I don't want to talk about it. But speaking of Overwatch, we can talk about my favorite games of the year. The first one, of course, being Overwatch 2. I know that this year was kind of disappointing for original Overwatch fans who wanted Overwatch 2 to be about the PvE that was originally promised. However, as someone who doesn't really care about the PvE, I had a really good time with the game this year, no matter what. I think for me personally, Overwatch is just a game that's very casually and socially fun, while still having really interesting interactions between the characters, as well as great character designs and lore and things like that. I've been playing since Overwatch 1, but I started playing competitive Overwatch this year for the first time because I usually don't do ranked in games just because I have a bit of a complex about not disappointing my teammates that probably stems from past experience playing League of Legends. But I tried it out this year, and yes, I got placed in low silver back in season 3, but that same season I climbed to plat, and from plat I am now diamond, peak diamond 2, hopefully hitting masters next year. But it's just been a really good time. It's one of the few games that I've actually kept up with for so long. Usually, especially since I'm streaming it on Twitch, I will get tired of a game and I want to switch it up, but I haven't gotten tired of Overwatch 2 yet, so I feel like that has to count for something, right? But if we're specifically talking about a game that came out in 2023 that is undeniably my favorite, it has to be Baldur's Gate 3. There's just no question about it. I don't talk about it much on social media, but I'm a really big D&D nerd. I played in multiple campaigns throughout college. I watched Critical Role and Dimension 20 me, and I own a whole bunch of dice and the handbook, so I'm really into D&D, and I've been really craving it since I haven't been able to play in any campaigns as of late, and Baldur's Gate 3 completely filled that void in my heart. The work that Larian Studios and everyone who worked on that game put into this is so clear to see, because it is, I think, the best gaming experience I've ever had. And the funny thing is, I haven't even finished playing Baldur's Gate 3. I only completed Act 1 and Act 2, and I'm still in the middle of Act 3, just because even without finishing the game, it is so clearly my favorite of the year. And so I highly recommend, if you're into D&D or just massive, expansive, amazing gaming experiences. But some people don't like turn-based combat, so don't let that hold you back. And unfortunately, there are so many other great games this year that I didn't get to play myself. However, I did watch other creators who did. These are my favorite content creators of the year in no particular order, starting with Boy Meets Girl. This is a gaming channel run by Taryn and Nick, a girlfriend and boyfriend creator duo who document Taryn's first playthroughs of games Nick loves and review the games they play together on their date nights. They just have such great chemistry and make very, very cute use of a sort of Animal Crossing puppet theater style of video, and their variety and selections of games allows me to experience ones that I wouldn't necessarily play otherwise, much like Vati Vidya's videos. Say that 3 times fast. As someone who adores the expansive world building and lore of games like Elden Ring, but don't really enjoy the gameplay, I am so thankful for channels like Vati for allowing me to experience the vast beauty of these narratives without having to suffer to do so. Not to mention, these are like full-blown productions. Vati commissions incredible artwork and animations and music for his feature-length videos, and they are absolutely awe-inspiring from start to finish. I rewatch his Elden Ring movie series all the time in the background while I work, and I do the same actually with Crimson Hollow. This channel is run by Courtney, the solo game dev of Crimson Hollow, who has a Master of Arts in Visual Communication Design, and these videos document their journey through game development and explore topics relevant to such an endeavor, like designing a magic system or why your vision for the game matters. I was actually originally a game design major in college, so despite switching to media studies, I still have a great interest for it, and Crimson Hollow satiates that curiosity. I'm very thankful for other creators' willingness to share their passions for that exact reason. And being a creator myself allowed me to experience my favorite moment of this year, which you might have already seen in my TwitchCon Vegas vlog. Yeah, okay, it's cheesy, but getting to meet my community again at TwitchCon this year was rejuvenating, almost, for lack of a better word. It just reminded me of why I stream on Twitch and why I make YouTube videos and why I do anything that I do online, and it's because there are people like you out there who enjoy it, who come along for the ride even with my inconsistency, and I will never not be grateful for that. So thank you to everyone in my little Umiverse. And without all of you, I wouldn't be able to share my final favorites of 2023, my favorite accomplishments. It can be really easy to be hard on yourself at the end of the year when you don't fulfill certain resolutions or you don't meet certain goals. So I thought this would be a great time to reflect on what I have accomplished and what I am proud of. And please do the same in the comments below. Let me know what you did that made yourself proud, and we can end the year on a good note. First up for me is making top 128 of Streamer Camp. Streamer Camp was a Twitch event run by Boxbox, Fuslie, Katamina, and Cutie Cinderella, in which streamers could submit applications to be accepted as a part of this streamer bootcamp, essentially. And out of all of these applications that were submitted, I was selected to be in the top 128, which is crazy to me. It felt like my potential as a creator was being recognized, and I didn't make it through the next round of cuts, but that's okay. I'm really happy to have ever been a part of it or even considered for it, so that was cool. I was also in a Lexus commercial this year. I was reached out to by Lexus Hawaii and asked to be in a campaign advertising their new line of electric vehicles because they were looking for people who were sort of on the cutting edge of technology, and me as a streamer was someone who fulfilled that. So I spent about 1.5 days shooting with them, and it was my first commercial shoot ever. It was a really eye-opening experience because I'd never been a part of a production like that before, and just an amazing opportunity in general. So thank you again, Lexus Hawaii, for the opportunity. Maybe we'll get a few more next year. Moving away from sort of of the streamer side of things, I was also really proud of myself for reconnecting with friends this year. There's the obvious reconnection with like internet friends when I met them at TwitchCon and things like that, but also reconnecting with my IRL friends. When I graduated high school back in 2018, I went away to a college that no one else from my high school went to, and it was a bit harder to keep in touch with everyone from back home. But this year, I really made an effort to reach out to more people and reconnect with them and hang out with them, just because I hold those friendships very near and dear to my heart, and so I want to keep those people in my life for as long as possible. Enough of that mushy stuff, back to content. Another thing I'm very proud of is my Emote of the Day series on TikTok. It was definitely short-lived, but I enjoyed every second of making those videos. For those of you who don't know, it was a series on TikTok in which I explained the origin, usage, and some fun facts about Twitch emotes. And it was just really fun being able to research and write and edit for all of those videos, and it really helped me to solidify my capability in editing and producing content of that style, as well as helping me hone in on the editing style that I like. And my final favorite accomplishment of 2023 is this new direction I'm taking on YouTube. It was this year that I really sat down with myself and explored what I wanted out of this YouTube channel, and I'm really enjoying this balance of gaming and lifestyle content with game reviews and Twitch highlights, but also a little peek into my actual life as a content creator with my room tour and with this video, and with more to come in the future. So I hope you like this new direction too, and I hope you stick with me. But otherwise, that is the end of my 23 favorites of 2023. I don't know if I'll continue this next year, just because 24 will be a lot. But I do have a lot of exciting ideas for stuff I want to make in 2024, so I hope you guys look forward to that as well. Also, I now have memberships here on YouTube, so if you'd like to support me in that way, you totally can. No worries if not. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Umi, and I'll see y'all next time.